Hey there, welcome back. Welcome to part number 2 on this subject about your distinctive voice. Yes, there's a golden voice, a natural talent embedded deep within you that if you're able to tap into, identify, tap into, and master, can become the golden secret for you generating hundreds of thousands, millions, or even billions plus, etc., of resources to fulfill your ultimate mission and purpose in life. Yes, so it is currently, now that I'm coming back to you about since the conclusion of part number 1, let's see. It is currently 7:04 p.m. on this 24th of March. So let's begin talking about your unique voice. Once again, it's unscripted, 100% organic, just very impromptu. No notes, no preliminary notes. It's 100% again non-scripted, unscripted, speaking directly to you from the heart. So let's begin, shall we? Let's begin this. So, we're talking about your unique voice. Let's begin with talking about the reality of how, over the past 5 years, life has been, for the most part, very challenging for all of us. Yes, I don't know about yourself, but it's been pretty vexating at times, vexating, difficult, strenuous, agitating for myself. I don't want to remind you of the pandemic that we were in the midst of just a little under 5 years ago, when the whole world was abruptly caught off by surprise by this unseen virus. Now here we are, 5 years later, 4 days into the spring solstice. Today is Monday, 24th of March, and we're talking about finding your voice. Number one, let's understand that you have a voice that is 100% original, authentic. It cannot be replicated. Many people could try to imitate, but at the end of the day, it will lack the substance of verifiable authenticity that's essential, so that when you have mastered, or you're in the process of mastering, you do not have to have mastered it just yet. But let's say you're in the process of mastering that voice that you have identified as your original voice. Yes, you have to understand that it's yours. It's a rare gift that you are fully responsible at developing. It's very important to know this. So, number one, you have a voice. Unfortunately, whenever challenges occur in life, we tend to become distracted, both the best and the worst of us, the sharpest and even the not so sharp people will become distracted and take our focus off of what truly matters, which is that voice. Myself, I am still a work in progress, for I have not fully developed and mastered my voice just yet. But if you would have met me a few decades before, going back maybe 10, 15, 20 years, you would have certainly not recognized the person that I am on this day, this afternoon, this evening. For I had challenges myself as far as being pretty shy, reserved, coy, and introverted. Yes, believe it or not, just a little under 30, 20 years, 30, maybe 30 years ago, I had a severe problem of second guessing every word that I would speak. I guess you could say I was a bit of a stammerer, very reluctant, hesitant in expressing my ideas and my thoughts. If you would have met me on this very sidewalk 20 to 30 years ago, you would have met somebody who was, for the most part, uncertain, not fully assured with not only who I am, and in response to the question, what is my ultimate life purpose, but the voice, finding my unique voice. So naturally, myself, I pinpointed people that I deem as example, living human examples of great communicators who became role models for myself that I used to watch tirelessly. I mean, every moment of the day, every minute, every hour, 2 or 3 times a day, listening to them be themselves, their natural selves, communicating their ideas, ideations, insights, human expression. So, yes. So that leads to a point how important it is to understand that once you have made up your mind to identify that original voice, it will take some time. I guess we could call that component aspect A. That it will take time to finely tune and develop that voice. It will not be something that will become transformed literally overnight. It will take some time. There will be a lot of trial and error and testing. The testing is the big part, which leads to point number 2. Yes. Patience. Are you patient enough with yourself? Are you, for the most part, kind, generous, and supportive of you, yourself? Yes. For, I guess you could say, being perfectly imperfect, flaws and all. A work certainly in progress. So understand, it will require patience with yourself. Some days will be great days. You'll be standing there at the pinnacle of the hill, beating on your chest, proud, eyes glowing like illuminating fireflies, with an energy that is most magnetic and contagious. But reality also brings to mind that there will be days that you will find yourself in the belly of the valley, second guessing yourself, questioning, re-questioning, re-examining, almost a never-ending cycle of evaluating where you are in your overall development as an original voice. Myself, as I mentioned before, I used to stammer, so there was many times I would become very isolated and a recluse. Yes, now keep in mind there's a difference between being isolated and somebody who's alone. For many of us, being isolated is about solitude. And there's a fundamental undeniable difference between someone who's in solitude and somebody who feels estranged. Yes? See, when you decide to isolate yourself, that's when you're able to really remove the mask that all of us wear. Our agents, our professional demeanor when we're in the office, at school, or communicating with those we like to impress. There's an agent that often sits at the forefront to give our best impression. But when you're in solitude, you will be very honest, relatable to yourself. That's very important to understand. To be in solitude is to really examine yourself, to be able to get familiarized with your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities that may arise and present themselves to you as you find yourself on the path to becoming an original voice. And then, of course, the tactics or the threats. Yes, two sides of one coin called the T for the SWOT analysis. We have strength, weaknesses, opportunities, tactics, and threats. The tactics is what strategies will you identify in a process of developing your original voice to test yourself, to better yourself, to perfect, not undermine, but reinforce your strengths, but challenge your weaknesses. I don't want to say undermine, but really underpin your strength. That's a better word, because every activity that you will find yourself appropriating, employing, are nothing more than reinforcing pillars for your foundation of overall success as an original voice. So this is the end of part number 2. We are going to conclude it here. I'll see you back in a minute as we begin part number 3 of our 3 or maybe 4-point video. I'll see you soon.